So listening to Tom Ferry, our head coach, the other day, talking on actually his episode 100 of his Tom Ferry show, hit on something that I'd kind of forgotten about a little bit, and my coach Bill Pipes had brought us up, and it was the 6 stages towards mastery. Everybody wants to get there, and stage 1 is simply that you need to make a decision. You actually have to decide. And that may seem simple, right? When I first heard that, I'm like, decide? Well, of course I've decided, right? No, but in reality is, what did you decide, right? I'm in real estate. I'm an independent contractor. Nobody's holding me accountable. I got to make a living, right? So I decided to be in real estate. Well, that's not good enough. You need to decide, truly, how many deals you're going to do this year, right? How many of those are going to be your database? How many of those are going to be from some other lead gen source? Or simply, I'm deciding that I'm going to be the best agent in this neighborhood, or with this type of properties, or in this area outside of the city, or with this investment property niche, right? You need to make a decision, right? You make that decision, and the more granular, the better. And then beyond that, you make the decision, then you reverse engineer it, and you make your plan. And then the thing that a lot of people stop at, if they've gotten to that point, they've actually truly declared what they're going to do, and then they've actually made a plan, like, thank God, those people, when you get there, you're way ahead of the curve. But a lot of people forget to declare that out and tell somebody about that plan, right? Don't be secret dream maker, right? Don't just hold that all to yourself, because then nobody out there is holding you accountable, and typically most people aren't very good at holding their own selves accountable. So you put it out there. Similar to when I released the Redlife episodes, number 000, I did that strategically because I wanted to tell myself, but I also wanted to tell the public and everybody else that's watching this, that there's 3 digits here for a reason, that I'm going to be hitting over 100 episodes of this, and I'm declaring that out there. If I would have just put 0, and then it could have dropped off, a lot of people will start a project and drop off. So again, step 1 of mastery is deciding, declaring, making the plan, and getting it out there. Second stage of mastery is 90 days of massive action, right? 90 days of massive action. We've all heard that it takes, a certain amount of time to form a habit, and this is where we're doing that, right? You've made your decision in step 1, and now it's 90 days of massive action. And the one thing when people get into this that they forget heavily about is that this is going to be a little bit painful, right? This isn't going to be a cakewalk, right? 90 days of anything, is not easy. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're just trying to say thank you, but in business, when you're making prospecting phone calls and database phone calls and all these other things, shoot, man, that's going to feel like a long time. But trust me, stage 2 is required, and you have to push through the hard, time when you're making this stuff happen and nothing is coming back to you yet. That's the thing. Nothing will be coming back. You're not going to be getting those little wins while you're plugging away in step 2, which is towards your goal of mastery. So 90 days of massive action. You're going to have to do it even though nobody's picking up the phone. You're going to have to do it even though the deals aren't coming through and you're not working with any active clients yet. You have to make that commitment, and trust me, you have to push through to get to the next stage, which we'll talk about later. Well, we've covered step 1, right? We covered step 2. The third stage of mastery is momentum, right? It takes a while to get here, right? You've made your plan. You've pounded through those 90 days of insane, massive action, whatever that might be. And now, after all this time, you're actually starting to see the first little win or two, right? This is when you start to get in momentum. You're starting to get benefit from the compound effects of all that work that you did before, right? Momentum feels fantastic. You get excited because the stuff is finally starting to work. It's an exciting time. You start to wonder, how am I going to fit it all in? But ultimately, you're finally being rewarded, and you're achieving some of the income-producing tasks that's actually going to fund your bank account of sorts and drive your personal finances forward, because you're finally there, right? Just know that this stage, you have to be super committed to it, right? You have to run with it, and you have to be extra organized, because it's going to feel like more than it ever has before. And it's your job now to take it and embrace it, run with it. But no, hey, tell your wife, tell your husband that I'm going to spend a little bit more time. I got to organize myself. I got to still do what I've been doing in step 2, and then I'm going to continue on with all the in momentum actions that I have to do, showing the clients, going to the CMAs, getting these appointments, plus not forgetting about what you did in step 2. If you're in momentum and you forget about all the things you did in step 2, unfortunately, you could drop right back to 2 or even 1. So in momentum, the biggest thing I tell you is get excited, be passionate more than ever, but don't forget about the things that got you there. Because what's going to happen is you're going to do this. And careers like this suck. Careers like this are no fun for everybody, and mostly you. Step 4 to mastery. Now, step 4 is something that most people never get to, right? So if you're going to get to step 4, you've done a lot of things right. Now, the reason people don't get to it is because we go through step 1, step 2, step 3, we get into momentum, and like I said last little clip there, you drop back because you stop doing the things that you require in massive action. You step back a step, and you can't jump, right? You can't skip steps. So stage 4 is called stability, right? If you can master momentum, where when things are getting going and it's getting really exciting, and you don't forget about step 2, you'll inadvertently get yourself to step 4, where you're actually getting to a place of stability, where it's actually starting to feel easier to do all of that stuff. And that is where the power really truly is. Stability is typically seen in the business world as kind of boring, but it's far from that. It's because you've been able to master your momentum. You've been able to continue with your massive action, and now you're in this place, kind of this zen that allows you to stay in this stable zone and get everything and keep things together. Now, the other thing about stability that people forget about is this is when you have to readjust, right? If you want to continue in your growth plan, you've got to reset the perimeters. You've got to kind of move the gates a little bit, so that if you're going to want to continue on the growth path, you're going to have to make some adjustments to your businesses, so that when you're getting ready for step 5, you've got the systems and the processes in place. So stability is a fantastic thing, and I really hope we can get you there. It's extremely fitting that where we sit right now, as I'm talking about stage 5 of mastery, is at my buddy's Sean Ford & Co.'s design studio. This place, if you haven't been to it, is absolutely insane. And again, his business is going through that right now. He's really the quintessential luxury design space in town, and it's really cool that I'm talking about stage 5, which is the quantum leap, right? If you remember, we just came through stability, and I told you at the very end that stability is key to re-implementing and thinking about new systems that will handle this momentum you came through and the massive action that you've been doing. You're going to need new processes and new systems to be able to get out of stabilization and jump, right, and make that quantum leap in your business. So again, you do that right, quantum leap is the most insane part. You feel like you're on top of the moon. But if you do it right in stage 4, you've got things to get yourself through that on your path to the ultimate master that you're trying to be, right? Whether it be in your farm community and you're the #1 agent there, or you're the dominant condo market specialist, or you want to work with builders and nobody does it better than you, or simply that you can really, like clockwork, trust that your business will produce lead generation for you.